From born to be free to born to feel free, from motherless to motherfulness, from a culture of grace to a culture of love, and from history to her story. Welcome to season 4, where we are going to break the spell of the internalized witch hunter, aka patriarchy, and birth together matriarchy, remembering the way of the mother. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Born to be Free podcast. I'm Sharada Devi, your host, and I have Lovisa Lakshmi here for, I think it's the third time that you're here, or maybe even the fourth.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
It doesn't matter, because we have so much to talk and share. We're so passionate about life, sex, freedom, pleasure, money, children, sisterhood, men, nature. But all together, it's love. We are women of love, and we love each other so much. I love you so much, Lovisa.
I love you so much.
Thank you for being back. And for those that listen to this podcast for the very first time, so basically, Lovisa Devi is from Sweden, mother of 3 incredible, beautiful children, Bhumi, Rama, and Vayu Deva, named after the goddess Mother Earth, named after the king of Dharma, of moral, ethical values, and named after the god of air. And we share a passion for the Vedic knowledge, the Vedic spiritual teaching that reveals that we are one, essentially, whole and complete, and the source of love, security, wealth, that we are everything we want to be already here and now. And we've been on this journey for a very long time together in different countries, but so deeply connected in the heart and also in the womb. Lovisa has been deeply dedicated to advocating for orgasmic, or how she calls it, love birth, to provide safe spaces for women to give birth and to initiate women into the old ancient wisdom of natural birthing and the power of birth, and not look at it as a disease. And also she's a sacred sexuality teacher and mentor and biodynamic craniosacral therapy healer. And she's also an author. She's writing her book right now. And also one thing that connects us so deeply is our shared sexual trauma. Again, different stories, but the same pain of having been robbed of something most precious. At the same time, we've grown out of it, or we've grown through it and come out shining, and now being able to empower women worldwide, and also uncovering really how everyone is sexually traumatized, actually. We've been just talking about that before we started. Some people think, oh, I'm only sexually traumatized if I experienced rape. But the thing is, there's multiple levels to this. There can be physical rape and emotional rape, mental rape, and spiritual rape even. And I would say we're all, as a society, actually, we've been raped. We've been drugged and raped in the way through chemicals, through the overflow of information, and raped in the sense of not being asked for consent or permission to be penetrated by all the beliefs and systems of domination and system of suppression and extortion, and being fed with lies, basically. A history that is based on the belief that women are dangerous. And that's why they forbid, not so long time ago, women to gather in circles. Because when women are together, we are invincible. We are a house of power, and we're going to change the world. change makers. The new paradigm, which is not the new, it's the old paradigm, really the ancient or indigenous wisdom, the ancient wisdom, ancient intelligence that is truly coming to the surface again and is being revived and remembered and reclaimed by so many women right now and men as well in the world. And now what we knew for so long, what is going on, is coming to mainstream. Now we have in the mainstream Epstein files, the recent uncover of a website where men teach other men, where husbands teach other husbands how to drug their wives and rape them. 62 million views in only 1 month. And it's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And we want to talk about all these things today. Sex, money, power, sisterhood, freedom. So, how are you feeling right now?
I'm thinking like, yeah, we want to speak about this and kind of like make sense of a world that is insane. I was saying before we started, like, it's really hard to grasp this world that we live in. It's so sick. There are so many parts of it that are sick. Of course, there are also the beautiful parts, and there, like, of course, it's not, I was going to say it's not black and white, and in a way, maybe it is actually black and white. But yeah, to kind of like boil it down and make sense of how can we live and be the change makers in this world. Yeah.
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 Yes. And the change really, like, it starts with us.
Yeah.
It does start with us. We can't help the world if we're not helping ourselves. If we're not well, we can't really help the world. And we also come from pressure and with agendas. And it's a delicate like moment because yes, we do have an agenda for this to end. Systemic violation and abuse and misuse and extortion and patriarchy and so you've been on this journey for so long. I've been on this journey for so long. And I feel like we've been this is what we have come here for, to go to the roots of the root cause of this global intimacy disorder and global psychosis. Rate like of bipolar and schizophrenia, psychosis, mental disease, burnout is just like raising by the day. In the same way, breast cancer, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, infertility, raising by the day. And so that is the result of the global intimacy disorder, the disconnection to our bodies, our sex, our power, and the disconnection to nature, and the mistreating of our minds, of our emotional being, or the not treating at all, the not including the emotional being, the spiritual being, and just going for the end in terms of fame, name, power, and living in a world of competition brings separation. And that's what we're experiencing now, like this deep separation. But we actually have been so blessed that we have felt so together in this separation because of a shared value, a profound shared value of dharma, of universal values and knowledge, that we are essentially one. And so we've been cultivating this friendship and safety and healing space and field of magic and grace in spite of the disorder and the separation, to create our own oasis in one way, our own world within the world where we have been able to grow and heal, and you have been able to give birth to your 3 beautiful children in the way that you wanted.
Yeah.
You've
Which is not a given.
manifested that. Yeah, it's not.
So there's so much grace that I was able to do that. I mean, both there were obstacles, interior obstacles to overcome, to be able to make those choices, and external as well. Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to give birth in a a safe, held, and especially like the way that I wanted.
For those
follow
that don't
the.
know your story, can you just tell a little bit of how you gave birth the way you wanted? And
Yeah, I have three children, three births, and so the first birth it was a home birth. All of them were home births, but it wasn't a given that I would give birth at home. I was in the beginning, I was just thinking I will just have to do what everyone else does. I will have to go to the hospital, even though my body was feeling like I really don't want to go to the hospital. Like I felt so strong, so healthy, so in my power in my pregnancy. I didn't feel like going to the hospital at all. And then it was actually thanks to a psychiatrist that I was going to. So I mentioned it to her, like, yeah, I would like to give birth at home, but of course I can't do that. And she was like, why? Why can't you, Lovisa? It's your birth, it's your baby. You're right. And then I went home and I really thought it through, and I, spoke to my husband, who was super supportive, and then there were other people in my surrounding, like family, that were not very happy about it. But yeah, I decided to follow my intuition, and I got two home midwives who came, and it was the most beautiful experience, because also I knew that I needed to feel safe, and this is a really important part of birth. We need to feel safe, and I knew these women, these midwives. I had seen them, I had met them in, they had been to my home. I felt safe and seen and loved by them, and then it becomes so much easier. So yes, I had a beautiful home birth, and then the second time, because I had heard about orgasmic birth, but I still didn't think it was for me. I thought, like, I have so much sexual trauma. I was still like, I have to think back. I was still at a place where it was difficult for me to orgasm. My body was like, there was so much of that. So I thought, yeah, maybe someone else can have an orgasmic birth, but I couldn't. But then for my second birth, I thought, I go for it. And I didn't know there was no guide. So I kind of made the guide for myself. I just dove deep into pleasure and embodiment and visualization and some other things, and really created that birth preparation that I didn't find anywhere else. And then I had an orgasmic birth. It was more of an ecstatic birth. So there were no physical orgasms, but it was more ecstatic, and it changed me also. Like, it rewired my body. Like, there are so many parts of it, of course, but one part was that I felt so in my power, like that I really, like, so strong, so able, because also the midwives, they didn't actually arrive in time for the birth because it went really fast. So it was me and my husband, and then my mother-in-law with our daughter on the couch and our cat. So we were just alone, and there was no fear. It was just power. So that, of course, was transformational to witness myself in that full power. Of course, that changed me, but also my physical body was like rewritten. So before that, for example, my husband could hardly touch my feet. Like, if he would try to give me a foot massage, I would go like, oh, because they were so tense, and they had been tense my whole life. But suddenly, after this birth, he could give me a foot massage. Like, the tension was gone. And that was just one part of my body, but it really rewired my body. So that's also the deep power that birth has. It is meant for transformation. And when we get to do it in our way, and we get to be supported. And then the third birth was also a home birth, also no midwives. I had midwives, but they came for the placenta. And this time it was actually chosen. So it's like half a free birth. Because I was supported by midwives all along, and I knew that that was the support I wanted. But when the birth started, I knew it was going to be fast. I told my husband, I don't want you to call them yet. I'll tell you when, because I had this intuition that I wanted to birth him first, and then they come. So that's how it went down. And it was an orgasmic birth in the sense of, like, I actually had physical orgasms. And it was also, you know, it's changing me or just transforming me into, you know, taking me like a snake, like you come out of the old skin and you're in the new you. That's how I felt it. And I think that is how we are actually meant to step into our motherhood, that we go through this transformation portal. Because it's a lot, it takes a lot to become a mother. It requires so much of us. So I believe that nature is intelligent in that way and gives us exactly, you know, all the power that we need to be able to then mother in the best way possible. Yeah.
Wow. Imagine, everyone that is listening and watching. Imagine your mother had an orgasm when you came to her
You
vagina
know,
into this world.
you know how often I hear people go like, but what will her children say when they grow up and they know? Like something that is something disgusting. Like I hear that a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And I understand. I understand. And maybe, you know, maybe that will be, maybe Rama and Vayu will be like, "Ew," like maybe, I don't know. But also like, why do we normalize? Like, I had a painful birth. It was the worst experience ever. I freaking hated it. I never want to give birth again. And that's okay to tell. Like that's okay for your children to know that they were like the biggest pain of your life. Why would that be okay? But not that like you were like when you came, it was like the most transformational, ecstatic, orgasmic, beautiful love experience. Why is that not okay? That's a fucked up world.
It
There's
is
this in
a
us there.
fucked up world
Yeah.
where we thrive on our mother having suffered for us to
Yeah.
enter this world. That's the Catholic Church,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
guilt trip. They have fed us, indoctrinated us, and what we are living out day in, day out. We're doing most things from guilt, unless you've had your spiritual awakening and woke up. And even if you have woken up, it's still going to take a long time to dismantle this internalized patriarchy. And I even call it now the internalized witch hunter, actually. Internalized witch hunter that is like systematically looking for women and killing women, like, and now it's not being done anymore through putting them at the stake and burning them because that was too bloody and too expensive. So what they did was just feeding us with the belief that, well, having a body is a sin and our genitals are meant for childbirth alone, and to take away the right or the choice, the free choice, the sovereign choice how we want to give birth, putting us in a hospital with white light and making us lie down. And you probably know, right? These lying down women on the back that came because King Louis or Harry, something like that, wanted to watch women give birth. And so that he could enjoy the theater, women had to lay down and spread their legs and give birth so that he could enjoy the watch giving them birth, right? And women never gave birth on their back.
No, it's very weird position to give birth in because you want what's the word?
What thing?
Gravity. You want the gravity to work with you, right? So laying down. I hadn't heard this story
Yeah.
with the king actually.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I've heard that it's more convenient for doctors and all of
Yeah.
that then they can see and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the table looks like the torture table from the medieval times. Like they compared
Yeah.
the table, and then you have like you put the legs or you tie the ankles up,
Yeah.
and then and like that, taking away the choice of how to give birth, and then not being in your environment where you feel really already held and safe, which is usually your home and your people. And
Yeah.
in old times, like we would have grown up with seeing our women in our community giving birth But by my age, I would have seen so many births in
Yeah.
the old times, and now rarely a woman sees somebody giving birth unless it's her own birth. And so she comes to that moment of giving birth and has no idea at all that she has her sovereign choice. But then, and so like that's what I mean, like with the internal as a witch hunter, that they kind of systematically changed women and their way of thinking, and taken away their power, our power basically, and given the power to men, and so that the men can have the power over us and make choices for us, decide what we can do, what we cannot do, and how, if we can be with women, how we can heal. Like herbal medicine was forbidden, and then a priest had to be in the room if any medical treatment were taking place. And so then systematically over time, all our power was just like handed over or taken really by the church, and they came into power and then indoctrinated and passed on this legacy of self-hatred and looking at our own blood as monthly period as something dirty and a disease. And so we numb by taking painkillers so that we can continue with life as if nothing has happened, and we can work and take care of others, but never take care of ourselves, because if we take care too much of ourselves, then we are selfish. And so it's praised, like as mothers, to take care of others. And women, then the mothers even compete with other mothers for how much she has suffered or how much she's suffering in the raising of her child, or all that she's capable of doing at the same time, multitasking and proving herself through that ability, which is internalized patriarchy, witch hunter, and we're numb, we're really drugged in that way and just operate according to that old system, wrong system. And that's the trauma, like that's the collective trauma that we are all suffering from, knowingly or unknowingly. And then it has led to the separation between women, our sisterhood, which is our strongest weapon, really, is us being together. But no, what happened is then we become competitors and jealous of each other's men and properties and beauty standards, and then we're rivals instead of
Admiring each other.
admiring each other. Exactly. And sharing our most intimate stories.
Yeah.
We heal through sharing our most intimate story, all our secrets. There's nothing that we need to be ashamed for in any way. Like this whole shaming ourselves and guilt tripping ourselves and putting ourselves down, that's all internalized patriarchy and misogyny and the witch hunter. And so I call it like that we are being under a spell and we need to break this spell. And that's a choice to break that spell. And once you break that spell, that's liberation. And it is so scary because you are so fucking powerful, because you're going to change the world. Like, it's like, what the fuck is going on? We're then just waking up to all what is happening, and then you cannot just keep a blind eye to it anymore. But that's where then many shy back. It's like, wow, it's so big, the problem and the issue. How can we really bring change to this? It seems like there is no hope, but it just seems like it, because there is hope and there is a new way, which is the old way. And it really begins with childbirth, taking care of the mothers in childbirth. That's where it starts, to facilitate natural birthing centers like Ibu Robin opened in Bali and in the Philippines, and giving women the choice to birth in community, and advocating for orgasmic birth, because then your mom was she didn't need to suffer. Right? It's like, wow, yes, of course I want my mom to have an orgasm when I come.
Yeah.
Isn't that all we want is our moms to be happy? And then we see
Yeah.
our moms being in so much suffering, in so much hurt, and we guilt trip ourselves as little ones. The rest of our life, we feel it's our fault that she's miserable. And
Yeah.
then for how long do we try to make her happy by pleasing her and following
Yeah.
in her footsteps? Or then, if not in her footsteps, we follow in our father's footsteps because we want his approval. And so then
Yeah.
we do what he wants us to do so that we get his love and approval. And it's all to make them happy. All we
Yeah.
want is our parents to be happy. And so, of course, it's so simple. It's all there right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, it's painful to wake up because
Yeah, because some people will not like it also, and some people will leave. Like that's also there are absolutely, friends and family and etc. that will turn on you, but they might also come back.
exactly.
That
Exactly.
happens to you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And staying in the lie, like as soon as you have understood that, okay, there's a lie here, there's something that is not, it's not right. As soon as you're there, you cannot but go to the truth, because you will hurt yourself. You keep hurting yourself as long as you stay totally unconscious of everything. Then you can kind of stay there, because you don't really feel the pain that it's causing you. But as soon as you've woken up enough to understand the lie, then you feel the pain. You feel the pain. So you kind of have to jump. You just have to. Mm.
Yeah. And
And
especially
also,
women, right? Because we are built to feel.
yes.
We're
Yeah.
nature, we're built to 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 protect our children and our community. We feel everyone in the room. If somebody's suffering, we feel it.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of the time, women, we are so numbed, so
Yeah.
we don't actually feel. We have that capacity, we have that, we all do. But when we are that numbed, we don't feel what we feel ourselves. We don't really read the room. We don't like, but it's there. And it is absolutely possible to get there, to feel everything. I was super numb. Like I was everything, but I was so numb. But step by step, it's a reclamation of who I am. And sometimes I think back of when I was younger and when I had my moon, and I never thought that it would be any different, like that my life would be any different on the days when I have my moon than the days that I don't, or when I ovulate or whatever. I just lived like a man. The same. And sometimes I think back and I'm like, I wonder if it was because I was young, so it didn't like, because now I have my moon, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna be here and channel the wisdom. Like, it's so profound. It's a profound experience. And I wonder how much of that, like, if I would have known, how would it have looked for me when I was that young? But maybe I will know when my daughter comes to that age, which is, yeah, it's just a few years from now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. In the Vedic tradition, in the Jyotisha, it's the Vedic astrology. The Jyotisha means the light. So it reveals, it shows us our blueprint with what we came into this world and our traumas and our karma, basically what we have done and experienced in past lives and what we haven't finished. And then we get to continue in this life. And 25% of a child's or an individual, a jiva's blueprint that we come with, the karma, the samskara, 25% is from childbirth and the time of pregnancy and then the childbirth and the months and a few years, and then the years, the following few first years, 25%.
Wow. Yeah.
So like what a big impact it has on a child's life to have a safe birth, an ecstatic birth, and then the other 25% is from the mother side, other 25% from the father side, and then 25% from past life.
Wow.
So like how much power do we have? We have a lot of power to make a difference and be the change. Right? We can't change anymore what already has happened, but we can change here and now how we move forward. And so you, everyone here, you have a choice, and that's in how you take care of yourself, and you can reclaim your power by establishing a relationship to yourself and to your mother and to your father lineage, and understand that you have ancestors and you are a carrier of that lineage, and to honor it and to seek their support and blessing in your journey of liberation and reclamation and coming back to your sovereignty. And they will help you because they want you to thrive. Like what they couldn't do, you are able to do that now. So for me, it was a big, huge, massive kind of light bulb when I understood that, like my rage and my anger, it's actually the offering to my ancestors. For a while, I think like, yeah, I would need to offer the sweets and the water and the flowers and all this. But then I realized, like, no, my anger is the offering to my ancestor, because my father couldn't feel all his anger. Of course, he was fucking angry being Filipino, and his whole country just got violated and raped and stripped of their dignity by putting on Catholicism. And they were tribal people, deeply connected to their sexuality. They have something that's called kapwa, which means like the spirit, that you're one with all beings. And they didn't have a gender binary format. For them, it's like we are non-binary. I am man and woman. That was there in the tribes in the Philippines. Like the knowing that we are everything and one with all. That was there. And then they came and just saw this opportunity of, wow, these are amazing, beautiful, kind, loving people. I mean, they also had their, of course, the tribes also have their, like all have their difficulties and shadows and all. But they're coming and colonizing like Philippines and so many other countries, and then telling them again, dominating them and dictating what they have to pray to, Jesus in the Philippines in that case, and then bringing in a whole other kind of culture than like the Americans come and bring the whole Americanness. And I love you, all my American friends, but you know what I mean when I say that. Consumption, like that part, and pop stars and name and fame and whiteness, making everything white, and telling them that the more white you are, the more beautiful and more desired you are. So all the Filipino girls want to be white, and the boys as well, because white means status, and so they don't want to be brown. And then they use these chemicals to whiten their skin, and then they're amazing, like devoted, and now the biggest like country where people work in technology, like providing internet service and support for different companies is in the Philippines. A huge high percentage. The Filipinos are helping so many countries and corporations around the world to get very, very rich, and they receive a minimum salary. And then on top of that, it's the biggest sex trafficking ring in the world, I think. And child pornography. There's so many like islands that are like basically dedicated to like child pornography and like high elite prostitution circles. And And so of course my father like had all this anger and has the right to be really fucking angry. And
Yeah.
and he didn't process that. He died on liver cancer. So I've had this like liver pain for many years, and I've been processing anger and anger and anger. But there was like this one layer. I just could not get to it. And it wasn't until I understood that, wow, if I can feel this anger, like it's actually the offering. As you really see the whole story and and how powerful they actually are and how they have been stripped away from that, and that it's righteous anger that needs to be liberated. And when you liberate it, it is an offering to your ancestors. It becomes the offering. And it was like this big, huge, massive, yeah, insight for me. And then allowance, permission to like really feel that rage and anger. And then it just like, I don't know if it's completely gone, but it changed my liver, and the sting in the liver and the fire in the liver has shifted, and therefore so many other parts of my body have now adjusted and readjusted, and so much of our physical pain, right, that we're experiencing, or so much, I would say all of it, I dare to almost say all of it, is somatic and connected to unprocessed emotions. And yes, and then ancestry, and then of course what we eat now. And but all what you eat now is also due to the system and the paradigm and how it came to that we're all eating this junk food, unless you're not and you're aware and eat healthy food, which probably most of us are doing here, but maybe not. So it's all connected. It's not like it's connected. Whatever we're experiencing, whatever pain is there, whatever relationship issue, whatever disease is there, it's all connected to this system of domination and extortion and misplaced values and lack of universal values, and most of all, the ignorance of who we are, that we are essentially whole, sacred, complete beings, and that we are the source of love and pleasure, and that we're meant to live in pleasure,
Yeah.
from pleasure, and even get paid
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
doing what we love to do and having pleasure while we do what we love to do, and we can get paid for it. It's the complete opposite of what we grew up with in the West and in the East.
Yeah.
To
Yes,
certain,
we learned that we have to do something that we most probably don't want to do,
yeah.
so that we have enough money so that we can, yeah, it's,
And then the guilt part. The
yeah,
guilt part comes in
yeah,
here.
mm,
That what we're doing
yeah,
doesn't really come from wholeness and love. It comes from fear and often guilt or unconscious guilt. And then we also feel guilty when we receive what we want. And so then we don't allow ourselves to fully receive what we want. And so we don't allow ourselves to be nourished through receiving what we desired. And so we're
yeah,
having all these things, but we're not allowing the nourishment to take place. But then we just
yeah,
want more and more and more and more. It never ends, but we're never feeling really well or are really happy or
yeah,
healthy.
yeah,
Yeah. So we want to shift that paradigm. And
yeah,
like the other part that I was really thinking a lot about is like one part is, which I feel there's much more awareness now, still so much lack, like what you have experienced so much because you're doing the work of advocacy of ecstatic birthing, and but there's more awareness, but also especially then the part when you become a mother, like the postpartum, that you're this new person, full on
yeah,
initiation, transformation. It takes everything of you. And then you don't have the support. You need to go back to work. The man needs to go back to work. You're alone with these kids at home
yeah,
in an apartment. And now what?
yeah, yeah, and it's normalized that we hand over our children to somebody else, to an institution when they are 6 months, 1 year, depending on where in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm really saying that without judgment, because I
Yeah.
know that, like, it's not, we live in this system. We live in this system. So we kind of sometimes at least feel that we have no choice but doing what we are supposed to be doing, supposed to give our children away at 1 year old or 6 months old. And, or even in the States, it can be like 3 months, it doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. And then that will of course create like a deep wound, a deep pain of not being able to be with your child.
You're not a good mother, right? Then all of that guilt tripping again comes.
Yeah.
I'm failing
Yes.
as a mother.
Yeah.
I'm no good mother.
Yeah.
So that's why I had this vision of creating matrilineal, mother-centered villages.
Tell us about the tell us everything now, Sharada.
Right. You know that I got pregnant, and you know that I had an
Yeah.
abortion.
Yes.
And it was the most painful, I can say, excruciating experience I've ever experienced, to abort the child,
Yeah.
the fetus, but he was already a child because I was so late, 15 weeks,
Mm.
and I had to give birth to it. And this experience really changed me. I'm still in the process of, I've done the postpartum care, I've done the rituals, I've done the closing of the bones, I've done the ceremonies, and I'm realizing like it has changed me. I'm not the same person anymore. And it has woken me up. I feel like, and like, yes, and that's the beauty of spirituality and the discovery of who we are. It never ends. Like, I thought like, okay, I was awake, like I know what I am. I'm limitless, I'm complete, I'm whole, and moksha is already a given. And now I'm all fine, and I'm gonna help the women reclaim their power and their sexuality and returning to sacred sexuality and doing the work with sexual trauma and helping women to heal from that and reclaim their power. And I thought like, okay, good, done. Like that's my life. And at the same time, and then of course, knowledge that we are what we want to be. But then like the goddess initiated me into this,
Yes.
and like, holy fuck, like, wow,
Yeah.
of course. Like, of course it's all about the mother. It was always all about the mother.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I didn't fully, not fully, I didn't make the link between all the sexual trauma and
No.
the mother wound. I made the link between the sexual trauma and women, but somehow ignorance and numbness and lack of experience, embodiment,
Yeah.
didn't make the link that, wow, it all comes back down to the mother. Like, we need to support the mothers. And we're living in a society where the mothers are not supported. The children are not in the center. We are living in a society where men are in the center. And the linear way of living, it's not the cyclical nature that we are following. We're not following the cycles of the woman. If we would follow the cycles of the woman, we would run the society differently. Like, we would honor when she's in her bleed. We would take care when she is bleeding. We would feed her and massage her feet and then take
Yeah.
care of what gets to be taken care of in cyclical ways. Like, there's a cycle, there's a time for everything, a season for everything. Winter, spring, summer, autumn. And we would honor these sacred cycles and understand this law of time, which is Jyotisha Vedic astrology. And there would be no reason whatsoever to be ever in a rush or under pressure or in stress. It's absolutely ridiculous that we are under stress and in pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous, right? Why are we under stress? Well, because we are in a completely wrong time
Yeah.
frame. We're in a linear time frame.
Yeah.
So of course, we're under stress because we believe there's something to get to, and we believe there's something to achieve.
This is such a big one to come to the realization that it's not about that there in the future, whatever I'm going to get there in the future. It's about here and now and all that is here, and just slowing down to fully enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that's also the thing with pleasure, that
Yeah.
it's here.
Yeah.
It's not there somewhere.
No.
When you are multi-orgasmic, that's when you're gonna no, it's here, it's now, it's when you lift your cup and you're really there with your senses and you drink it, you smell it. That's it. Yeah. But we
That's it.
rush.
We rush.
Yeah.
And you just need to breathe.
Yeah.
Oh my goddess.
So the villages.
The villages.
Yeah.
The villages, matrilineal, mother-child-centered villages where womb care, womb healing is at the center. The revival of the red tents and how many women are out there that have a child and no partner, that are in desperate need of support? How many women are out there that die to have a child, are undergoing this terrifying IVF, like IVF, fertilization, or so that women can get fertile, because so many women are infertile. Why are we infertile? Well, because of all the reasons we just covered and talked about. Sexual trauma,
and also the men.
Also the men.
The sperm quality has now I don't know the numbers, but it has decreased so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impotency. Because we have emasculated men. That we don't understand that men, through the patriarchy and misogyny and domination, we have emasculated ourselves as men, taking away our own power. When we need to take someone else's power, that means I don't believe or know that I have power. I feel deeply insecure, so I need to take the power from other people. And I take their power away. That's emasculation. So then I'm emasculating myself because I'm not trusting in my own power.
Yeah.
So we're controlling and dominating the feminine. And so everyone is suffering under this system of domination. And yes, that infertility for men as well. And then of course the food poisoning, right? Through all these chemicals and Monsanto and the water contamination, and all contributes to it as well. But so through the healing, like the sexual healing, the reclamation of the sacredness of life, grieving circles, sharing circles, reverencing life, healthy food, healthy sleep, getting out of a linear time frame back to the cycles, which a matrilineal village would live by, sacred cycles, honoring the times, the seasons, health over wealth, in the sense that understanding that health is wealth, that is wealth, intimacy is wealth, connection is wealth, living with nature, not away from nature, like in concrete, in cities. But the matrilineal village is then harmonizing with the elements of Mother Nature. There's water and the earth, and healing the earth is healing the womb is healing the earth. The blood is being offered into the earth, and then I see it as a trauma-informed village, of course, and education, sex education, wealth education, money education, like how to wield money, and then dharmic leadership, what it means to be a leader, dharmic leader. And then we have all these incredible tools now, modern tools, nonviolent communication, with it all coming from already the ancient spiritual tradition. But have been modernized and are very valuable and have sacred pleasure initiations. Basically, in a Matrilineal village, you have all these sacred initiation rites, like the birth and then the study and the menarche, the first bleed, and intimacy, sexuality, and women initiate the women, men initiate the men, and honoring the sacred transitions of a human being so they feel empowered and worthy and that they belong. The support of the community is essential, fundamental. Giving them back not back, just reminding them that the power has always been between their legs.
Yeah.
And love. To love, that's the medicine. To love and protect what is given, not destroy it. But bringing these women and families together in a matrilineal villages, then there's this support. You can support each other. The mother has her time and gets a break, and then the women that don't have children and would love to have children can spend time with the children, and then the elders, of course, like taking care of, like, how amazing to be around elders, wise women, men, and then the children have labs to sit in and can draw the wisdom from the grandmother, grandfather.
Yeah.
The parents get some solo time to still have their pleasure
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a crazy vision, but
It's a beautiful vision.
it's the vision. I mean, I know there's so many women that have already done extensive research, and there are even some villages in Costa Rica where it's alive. But I truly feel that this is the way forward, because we have enough of retreats. Like, it's beautiful to come to a retreat, but you go into a retreat, it costs a lot, and then you go back into your life, and just the communities that we have, also amazing, but often they also fail because, again, you don't establish common values, common vision, common goal. So yeah, it gets to be thought through properly and implemented with values. And of course, there's going to be a lot of difficulty as well, but there's so many other difficult also here and now. So to start envisioning coming together as women and heartstorming the mothers and the women and dreaming of the more beautiful world that we know is possible to live in. And when women come together, we are going to bring change. It's inevitable because we are so powerful and because we are going to bring change. That's why they forbid us together. That was the very reason.
Yeah.
So once we really truly gather again and really are honest and share what's really going on in the heart and what we need, and not feel ashamed for what we need.
Yeah.
Again, like so often, oh, I'm neediness. Oh, I don't want to be needy. So we don't ask anyone for support. Yeah. Again, like internalized witch hunter, the shame, thinking we need to do it alone or thinking that we can do it alone. Internalized witch hunter. So us coming together and heartstorming, grieving what needs to be grieved, releasing what needs to be released, untangling what needs to be untangled, the codependency with the masculine. And so we get to really scan and inquire into the relationship we have with the masculine, with our husbands, fathers, partners, brothers. See how we're feeding them in ways that might not be really empowering, nor to them, nor to yourself. How we're betraying our own sisters. And the way forward is by acknowledging, yes, I'm doing that. And it's not my fault. It's systemic. It's transgenerational, and it's patriarchy. And by me not acknowledging it, it's exactly how the parasite continues to live on in my body. But the moment I voice it, the moment I say, I'm going to break this fucking spell, only way forward.
Yeah.
Because every woman feels it.
Yeah.
Every single woman. You're not alone. Even if you've done 20 years of spiritual work, which I have, it's there in me.
Yeah.
And I can see it in every woman around me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it in every man around me. And it's such
Yeah.
a massive realization. And it takes a moment to breathe. It's so much release, but and relief, but also so much grief. And then suddenly I'm free. Then it's like, okay, wow. And now what? Okay, what else is there left to be done than just birthing these villages that we want to live in and we need to live in to be sane and healthy? So our
Yeah.
children, so that a mother doesn't feel she needs to abort her child like I did because I felt I don't have the support to raise my child. I cannot trust the system. I don't believe in the system. I don't trust the system. I am not capable of taking care of that child. And this was so heartbreaking. But it was my reality in that moment. And it is for so many. And I got to face that I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. I don't want to prove to the world on Instagram I can be a mother, I can be a CEO, I can make millions, and I can take care of my child, and I'm doing my spiritual sadhanas, and I'm doing all of this. Because spiritual sadhana is to be a mother. I know that now. There's bigger spiritual sadhana than motherhood itself.
Yeah.
But I literally didn't feel I'm capable. I would go mad. I know my mind also. My mind is kind of bipolar, which in the Philippines was looked upon that you are the shaman of the village, not as a disease. If you are so open mentally and can travel between the worlds, the seen and the unseen worlds, and you feel everyone, that was not looked upon as a mental disease. It was looked upon as, okay, you are the shaman, the witch, the healer of the village, and you were taken care of, not drugged and put into a mental hospital like I was put into.
Yeah.
And I know what it takes to raise a child. I have seen all the women in my life. And then to do it without a man, like, wow. Which sometimes is even easier. Because if the man becomes the boy, right, suddenly becomes so needy. And then you have a child and you have a second child because most men are not really men. So then the little boy comes out, and as soon as the child is there and feels abandoned by the mother, then you have to deal with that also. It's like,
Yeah. 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 I see that happening. Yeah.
yeah,
But
again,
then
yeah,
from this experience, this vision was also born.
yeah,
You know, it's so I don't know if I have words for it even. It's because this vision is, I don't know, in one way I don't really like to call it a vision because I think this is a must. This is just this is just tiny steps actually from being a reality where you can actually come and live and spend your life. And then I can't help but think like about my children, like if they would grow up in this kind of community, in this kind of world where what a grace, like who can they become in this world? Like how can all of their different qualities, different gifts, like they could be so amplified and so brought out. And one person can do so much in the world, so much, if the container, if the circumstances allow it. So yeah, there's so much power in this project.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel exactly also like what you said. It's not really a vision or a project. It's just what is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question is, who is going to do it?
Yeah. Yeah, or how are we gonna
And
do
how?
it?
Who, how, where? I
Yeah.
thought like Bali is a good place to start as a blueprint because things are somehow easier to manifest here.
Yeah.
Europe is quite expensive to try out things. I mean, this is also a big budget, of course, but somehow
Yeah.
yeah. And then being also having the support of the incredible Balinese community and who naturally love children. And then, yeah, it would be like a prototype, like a few families together that want to live there. And then other places where families can come and go to just be there for a while, to experience it, to learn the blueprint, and then take it out into the world.
Yeah.
Or like for women that go out of Bumisehat or families from the natural birthing clinic, then they can stay a couple months, the first months there in this other, call it Devi village for now. And then you have like the first few months, you're supported at least
Yeah.
out of the birthing to like a few months of just being held to go through over the baby blues and postpartum depression and just being held in that immediate or right after giving birth phase of your life. Even that is like, wow. To be together alone and together, you have your own place, your own little house and garden, but if you need, there's people right there with you. And and permaculture garden, Ayurvedic food.
I love all of this. I love it so much because it's so healthy. It's just so healthy, and also it's also so different from most of our backgrounds, right? How we grew up, and so I like I feel this so much. My whole body, like it just feels so right. So yeah, the time is here. It's just the how. And then also there's another part that also is there that I think can be important also to acknowledge is the fear, because it is like so different. Like, what should I like live with other people? Like, what would that be like? And like, that's also part. But it really comes from that we never really experienced it. We never really experienced support in that way. And like you said before, that we have this deep internalized, I have to do everything myself. I'm so guilty of that. Guilty, but like it's such a big part of how I was indoctrinated, because it was not safe. Like it was not safe to ask for help, and there was really nobody also to ask. I think that we are many that have that same wound, that come from that, which actually just makes it even more needed and needed.
And how much money is there in the world? There's so much money in the world. So like all the men out here, we have so much money. And then we
women too, actually, women too.
Very much.
I mean,
I wanted just
not
to say
in comparison, not in comparison, but starting.
Yes. And we want to talk about that, right? Because we were on this kind of millionaire babes journey, you and I, and got
Yeah.
our lessons.
Yeah, for
Shall we dive
sure.
into that part
Yeah, let's do
a
it.
little bit? It's a big piece. For me, it's a massive piece. I really got hooked in the way. Um, and I
Yeah.
know you as well. I've been with you going through that.
Yeah.
The billionaire babe coach, gonna make
Yeah.
millions now. And
Yeah.
yeah, we had our experiences. Do you want to
Yeah.
start?
I want to start. Yeah. So, where do I start? I think, well, it was about a year ago that I started to come into this new world online where women were making millions and also promising millions. This is how you can make millions. Just do this, tick, 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 tick. And I definitely felt the pull, like that. Um, and I still do. I just when I say that I still do. I still really feel, and that's something actually that's been with me for many, many years. Actually, that I've had this feeling that I will be a stewardess. What do you say? Stewardess for
Yeah.
wealth, and I still feel it, but it now it's very different because I at first when it came into my world, I was quite mesmerized by it, and I I thought a lot about like the luxury and the all of that just dragged me in. Maybe not the purses and the like certain things were not so important for me, but definitely like the luxury house and the luxury vacations and all of this. And I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It's just that when the money actually comes, what do you really want to do with it? Like where do you really want the money to go? And yeah, that was a big piece for me to see that I was not fully conscious about what I would do with that money. What that actually it's such a responsibility. You have the money, and then what do you create from that? What do you pour it into? And in that we heal a lot. So we were in mentorship. I was in your mentorship in your 101, and during this time, so blessed. So, best place to be, no doubt. And and it was a lot about the mother wound. That's where we ended up. Um, and I actually had so I went to a business conference in the US in November, and I was there, well, to attend, of course, but then also to give like a workshop there. And right before my workshop, I just had this huge cry, and I felt so ungrounded. And I went out, and there were no forest, nothing. We were like in this big hotel, but there was some trees in the parking lot. So I went up and I hugged the tree, and I just like asked the tree to ground me, like ground me. And I cried. And in that cry, I wanted to call my mother. I wanted to call her and say, I did it. I did it, Mom. I'm making the millions. I'm doing it. So it was the little girl that wanted to prove to her mother, I can. Mm, can. And part of it is, the beautiful side of like doing what she could never do, what her mother could never do, and all of this. And that's the beautiful part. But then it's the other part, which is like, I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to make millions or wear a certain brand or to be loved. Because that's when you boil it down, that's basically what I wanted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, meeting that world also is, and that's I met really some really cool women there, and I'm very, very happy about. But it's also a world where I felt like I I felt so much pain, the pain of never being enough, and actually also part of it was that the event in itself was, I felt that it was abusive in the way they were selling. It was half of the event they were selling their offers, and I actually left the room quite a lot those last days, and not only me, a lot of people did actually, because everything was about, like, every speaker that came on was actually there to sell the offer of the hostess, and it's yeah, to me it was surprising with that kind of aggressive selling. I didn't expect it, and yeah, and selling is really about inviting somebody into a world that can make things better for them, right? That can transform them in some way that will be beneficial for them. But when selling becomes convincing, it's and manipulative, it's something else. And that part was also seen and felt in that world. And sadly also it works. It works. Yeah. People, including myself, fall for it because we have the wounds we have. And marketing and selling in that way also, it's also in, what do you say, like ingrained in it, that they know the psychology behind it. So they use that psychology where you feel your pain and you feel your lack and all of that. And then the offer is the bridge. So just buy this thing and then you'll be okay. And I feel for myself, like in my work, I'm still on this discovery of like, how can I invite people into my world without using all of that crap? How can it be more clean, much more clean than that?
Mm. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I feel the way to excel is by simply being real, raw, honest,
Yeah,
and inviting. Invite, this is what I'm about. These are my values.
yeah,
This is what I stand for. This is what I want to see in the world. And here's an invitation to join. And like you said, when we are convincing, then we're not trusting our own medicine.
yeah,
And even if that would be the case, then one can even be honest about that. Like, I know that this medicine works, but I'm not really fully there yet myself, but I'm about this and I want to implement this. Do you want to join me? That's like being fully honest, and there's so much power in that, to share just raw and honest where one is and where one wants to go. And then you don't need any convincing actually at all in any way.
yeah,
It's it's unnecessary, but it happens,
yeah,
and it is the shadow of the women's coaching industry or male coaching industry, but we're kind of emphasizing right more the women's coaching industry because we've been in that, and I've had my experience as well where I've seen some women and one like pioneer women. I know that many women are following her. Her name is Melanie Ann Layer, and she made, I think, I don't know, 80 million in 6 years or something. And kind of the new Tony Robbins. And she's amazing, the way her eloquency and wording, and I did quite many courses with her, and it really helped me to implement a system so that I could make money and for the first time get paid for my work, which was absolutely incredible and felt so good. And then it grew and grew and grew or grew. And I could also feel this, like, I want more, I want more, I want more, which is all about, like, more and more and extravagant. And I'm so for taking care of the little one and the little girl's unmet desires and fulfilling them, making up for them, but in healthy ways, right? Like when it gets into buying the private jet of $400,000 just to fulfill the little girl's dream, okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying by buying that $400,000 jet or even the Louis Vuitton bag, we're feeding the metrics, like we're feeding exactly the system that we wanted to not be part of, that we saw the shadow and that has disempowered women. Now we have learned how to empower ourselves, but we're not really empowered because we're still buying the Louis Vuitton bag, believing that having a brand designer bag makes me what? More
Fit in,
lovable?
belong.
Love,
I think a
fit
lot.
in,
Yeah, yeah,
makes me special. And so we're giving the money back into the same system we are desperately wanting to be free from. And so I'm just saying, like, what if all that money would go into natural birthing clinics,
yeah,
matrilineal villages, grassroots projects where we're taking care of nature and healthy soil, permaculture, food forests,
yeah,
giving back to the indigenous people, which we are all as well, ultimately, and taking care of the climate crisis. Like, that's what I want to like talk to us women who are the change makers, who are now the leaders, who are waking up. But let's wake up to not feed the system back with all the money that we've gathered and are worthier than the worthiest. It has nothing to do with the worthy. But yes, let it all come into your hands, into our hands. But may
yeah,
we not feed it back into the very thing we were oppressed by, manipulated by, lied to, shamed and prostitutized. I don't know how to say that, like made into a prostitute, a slut
yeah,
shaming. Let's not feed it back there. Let's yes, fulfill our little girl's dream in healthy ways. And with that, making our mothers proud, because I know so exactly when you're like that was the whole thing, like, because I had experienced that just right before you. But that's fine. This is what was going on in our mentorship.
yeah,
Because I was also trying to impress my mom and the dream of making the million so that I can tell her, hey mom, I did it. And
yeah,
I'm coming home with the $1,000 Louis Vuitton bag as a gift. Like I saw myself doing that
yeah,
so long just to make her proud.
uh,
And for so long, like I really resisted money. I rejected money. I didn't want to have any money. I would work almost for free in Venezuela in a foundation and creating events for orphans. And that's a whole other story. Like, so I really was like on this like social activism. Then I found like spiritual teachings, then became the yogi, like the pure yogi, kind of letting go of all my femininity because I'm pure now. And I don't need any money, having like flip-flops for 10 years and didn't need much more than that. And then suddenly like realizing, whoa, I have huge, massive sexual trauma here. There's so much shame in my genitals. Okay, so let's dive into like the witch wound and self-pleasure myself out here of this massive trauma. and suddenly making all this money again, and didn't know that I actually still had these unfulfilled dreams of luxury, and that fake luxury, really, when I my whole life had the true value for the luxury of nature and knowledge and freedom and connection. But then for this moment, like I kind of, even though I've been already on the spiritual path and did the sexual work, but I got kind of hooked into it again. I had
Yeah.
rejected it, and then I got hooked into it again. And suddenly I found myself wanting a designer bag. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like,
Yeah.
something is off here. And spending so much money into a mentorship that, wow, I regret it and I don't regret it because I learned my lessons. But it was a lot of money that I invested in there because I thought I would make then the millions. And then, yeah, be able to buy the Louis Vuitton bag from my mom and tell her now I became a millionaire. And that mentorship did not give me the million, but it brought me many, many lessons and insights. And also a disgust to which I'm now purging towards like this women's coaching industry, because then the women that I invested into was also then buying the Ferrari and the $1 million apartment. And I'm like, wow, I'm still part of the patriarchy. I'm still feeding this whole fucking system. And I got allured into like my own shadow side. I hadn't mulched that shadow in me.
Yeah.
And then I had to go into the underworld and really meet that little girl that, yes, like just like you so much wanted to make the mom proud and then stand out in the sisterhood, right? Stand
Yeah.
out in the women's
Yeah.
coaching industry and be one of those successful, amazing, erotic, orgasmic millionaire babes. And I just love myself through it, right? Like that's what it comes down to. No
Yeah.
shaming, because then if we shame ourselves for it, that's again the internalized witch hunter. So
Yeah.
no, this time, like, okay, I see you, my little one, and I love you so much. And you're fucking amazing that you actually see what's happening and how much you've grown and healed. And yes, through the mentorship, like it was so expensive. And yes, what it did really give me was that I was able to get out of my box and speak publicly that I have done like sex work when I was a teenager. And that was massive for me to be able to say that out loud without shaking and crying and feeling totally ashamed for it. And now it's like it's another life, right? And it's part of the journey why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it again, I was also allured into it. And what's the word? There's specifically a word into it. Yeah, I was allured into it as well. And it's part of the witch wound and ancestry wound. And then why the reason I was so drawn to spirituality, Vedanta, which is then so pure, right? Knowledge, 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 knowledge. And then yeah, yes, we are purer than the purest, but the body still remembered and the shame was still there in the body. So then still needed to do all that sexual healing work and release the shame in the body or from the body, basically unprocessed emotions and judgments of like not being lovable, not being there's something wrong, being dirty, being useless, being basically unhuman, like and just resurrecting from all of that and seeing how when we heal the sexual wound, we also our powers return, and then yes, we can make a lot of money through that. And that's what many women figured out. Yes, now we can make all this money because so many of us have been sex workers in this life or other lives, and like in one way or another are prostitutes, not like in that very clear way, but aren't we all selling ourselves for something that we want? So, and again, prostitute is actually a very holy word. Originally it's the holy sex witch, right? The wise woman, the goddess, the sacred feminine, the healer, and she who knows that sexuality is sacred and we can heal and empower and manifest and contribute through that. So it all ultimately brings us back home and full circle. And then, yes, the money, right? So that then we don't now put the money back into the system that we discovered fraud and now feeding it back. And so now it's like this next level wake up call, like, yes, like heal and make all the money, but let's put it into the places where we are truly contributing to world peace and healing the sexual trauma and restoring global intimacy and restoring sanity. So, like, apart from what I see, a part of matrilineal villages is basically mental, maybe that's part of the village, but literally mental health villages where the people that are like bipolar, schizophrenia, psychosis, like, and have been labeled as mentally ill and not normal, that actually you're the most normal person. And just your system just said, like, no, I cannot live with this madness. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. And your mind is actually very much aware of that and just has woken up, but you don't have the support and the knowledge and the compassion to meet it and understand that these are actually your healing power, like your powers, and you're receptive and maybe a shaman, a healer, actually. So, like, and so us women, like, it's in our hands, and all that wealth come to us, and then, like, Lakshmi, the goddess of dharmic wealth, she receives and she gives. It's this sacred reciprocity and sustenance, healthy sustenance of win-win situations, sacred symbiosis between me, you, and nature. And in that way, we are reverencing life and we're restoring sanctity and wellness, health. And that is really the true love story. The failed love story is Romeo and Julia and Cinderella and all these fairy tales that we were fed and read when we were little, and that's why we're running after the Prince Charming and waiting to be saved. But the true love story is we don't need to be saved. We are love, and we just need to find each other again as witches, bitches, and holy whores, and the Durga Devis, the warrior goddesses, and that's the love story. Like the daughter saying, "Hey, mom, I love you so much. Thank you for gifting me life. You're my heroine."
Yeah.
That's the love story.
Yeah.
And the mother say, "My dearest child, you're most precious jewel in the whole universe.
Yeah.
And you're the wealth. No designer bag or million could ever replace you, what you are, what you're meaning to me. You're my heart, you're my everything, you're myself."
Yeah.
That's the true love story. The mother solution to this problem is the mother. And I love, like, mother, the word mother. It's like also ma, other, like ma, either, there is no other, like in Sanskrit, it's sometimes also used like there's no other, like no other mother. In Sanskrit, with Ananya, there's no other. There's only one non-dual being, one without the second.
Yeah.
And a mother knows that, like, it's just you, that, like, this body births this child out of you, and you're like,
yeah, it's surreal in a way.
completely.
And also so natural.
And so
yeah.
embodied,
Yes. Yes.
bloody, juicy, wet,
Yeah.
sweaty,
Yeah.
hairy, full earth,
Yeah.
primitive, like primal, roar, and
Yeah. I want to just tell a short story.
yes, please.
So when this was a few weeks ago, we were at a party. It was like a family party. So there were lots of families there. It was this huge kind of mansion, like big house, very luxurious view, garden, so beautiful. And yeah, and the people who were there, they were, oh, the people who had the place they are of course very wealthy, and their friends are very wealthy. Anyway, so when we left the party, and at the party also, we brought our dogs, forget the leashes, so we kind of borrowed something from them. The dogs escaped, they were in the kitchen. Mess. Anyway, but it was fun. It was fun. And then we left, and on the way back to our car, like the car parked right before our car was this, I don't remember the name of the brand now, but it's something like Maserati, maybe. So it's like a luxury car. It's like a couple of 100,000 euros, I was told. In the front of the car, obviously this was somebody that was at the party. So in the front of the car at the dashboard, there is a little Ganesha statue. Identical to the Ganesha statue that we have at the dashboard in our little car. And this experience, just seeing that, it did something to me. I was like, yes, this is like, because we don't bring these two together. We don't bring spirituality together with wealth. We have this idea, this belief that this is wrong, that if you're spiritual, you cannot charge for the gifts you have and the things you offer. It's somehow wrong. But so I don't know, that this image, it just keeps being there and brewing in me. Not that I want a luxury car, because I really don't, like, and especially not now, the whole thing that I've been through, but it's just that to match these two, to put these two together, that actually there is nothing more where the wealth should flow than into the hands of the spiritual people. Everyone is spiritual, we're all spiritual beings, but into those that with the values, because that's how we can actually make change, because money is power. It brings power. So when we can let it flow in those ways.
Money can buy things. Money can buy so that you can build
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
I love that.
Money can give time for mothers to be with their children. Yeah.
I love that. What a beautiful image.
Yeah.
Yes. So who's ready to break the spell?
All of us.
All of us. Let's break the spell.
Yeah.
Let's break the spell. So all we gotta say is, I'm ready to break the spell. I'm ready to break the spell.
I'm ready to break the
I'm
spell.
ready to break the spell.
I'm ready to break the spell.
Spell that I can be spiritual and wealthy. Actually, they go together. Like, they were never separate from each other. That's never, ever. Yeah. The spell of patriarchy, of the internalized witch hunter, all this shame. Every time I'm shaming myself, I'm under the spell. Every time I'm guilt tripping myself, I'm under the spell. Unless I'm really doing something adharmic, meaning unless I'm really going against universal values and I'm intentionally hurting, then you're also kind of under the spell of ignorance. But here, I mean, like, speaking to the women or men, people that are really already on the path and still feel this is playing out again and again and again. And then also those that are listening new, of course, it's also the spell. It's the wake up. Like, I'm ready to wake up. I'm ready to see. I'm ready to love and to use my power for love. Because we need you. We need you, rainbow lovers. We need you, every one of you here that is listening. You wouldn't be listening or watching if you wouldn't be a rainbow lovers, a lover, like a lover of life.
Yeah.
A lover of truth, of freedom. And so it's saying, yes, I belong, and I simply do what I came here to do. Getting out of the perfectionism, getting out of the polished spiritual teacher, getting out of the belief you have to be this fancy, luxurious babe, dropping the perfect reels. Not that you cannot do them, but all these things shouldn't hinder you anymore from this belief that you have to be perfect and polished and for you to do your work. It is our time now. And it's needed more than ever. We just do it.
Yeah.
One step at a time, one prayerful moment. And collaboration. This is our time of collaboration.
Yeah.
Coming together as if we don't know anything, we don't know shit. We just come together and then we play.
Mm.
And in that sacred play, together we'll manifest the unimaginable. But that's how the goddess works. She already had figured it out long time ago, right?
Yeah.
She's just here, like still kind of smiling at us that we're thinking we are the author, taking ownership. She's like, yeah, okay, you can have your ownership and authorship, your fame. I love you. But then we realized like it was never ours. Nothing was ever ours. We're here finding ourselves on this stage, the mystery. And we are a piece of the puzzle. We are, each and every one of us. Let's just fit the pieces together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then see it, like see in front of your eyes what you want to see. Hear what you want to hear. Feel it in your body, what you want to feel. Smell it, what you want to smell. Taste it, what you want to taste. How does that more beautiful world look like that you know is possible, that exists, that is there already? How does it look like? How does it feel? How does it sound? And take a few deep breaths, bathe in this vision. This vision where love prevails, where care is the currency, where pleasure is a birthright, where orgasms are celebrated, where health is prioritized, where money is used for the good of all beings, where children are protected, and mothers and women worship the goddess herself, where womb care, womb healing is at the center, where the blood is sacred, the sacred menstrual blood, offered back to Mother Earth, where we bathe naked in the fresh waters. Where we dance underneath the starry sky around the holy fire and sing and chant and pray for peace, for oneness. Where we are friends with our animals, where we worship the mountains, the trees, the sun and the moon, where we live according to the sacred cycles and honor the seasons, rest, movement, dance. And all is part of life. The daily medicine of sacred holy touch, where you look into the mirror every morning and remember You are all that you ever wanted to be, here and now, holy, sacred, loved, safe, and you belong. Take a deep breath into your genitals. Relax your womb, your genital fully. Exhale, and then squeeze your love, pleasure muscles, your yoni muscles. Inhale, relax the womb. Feel the womb or the energetic womb, your genitals. Relax, relax down into the earth, become heavy like a stone on the inhalation. Then exhale, squeeze. Bring the energy into your belly, into your navel, into your heart. And inhale again one more time. Become heavy. Fill the whole body with prana, life force. And then exhale, squeeze it all the way into your heart, into your throat, into your third eye. And above into the sky, and let it be so if it is ultimately good for you, for me, for all beings. Let this become a reality. Inhaling and release. Sending this prayer out into the vastness of the universe where there's only one verse. You are that Tattvamasi. You are the cause of this whole universe. The golden and through all the ornaments. One with all. Satyam eva jayate. Truth will always conquer. And if you want to nurture the seed, this moment, connect the symbol to your wish, your dream, your vision of this more beautiful world we know we can live in. Then let that symbol become part of your life. Maybe draw it, build it, create it, or buy it. Place it on your altar and connect to it every day. Offer your offering to that symbol. Could be a prayer, some water, a candle. And we live life one day at a time as if it is our last day on earth. But we dream as if we're living forever. Here and now, all is well. You're love, I am love, we are love. And how can we love each other in this moment? That's the only question that we get to ask ourselves. Everything else will manifest accordingly. Jai Ma to the mother, Jai, victory to Ma, the mother of the universe. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father, for life. Aho tatastu samutepi aknetadu mashallah. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Let it be so. We can open our eyes.
Mm.
That all just happened.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lovisa Lakshmi. You want to stay connected with us? Comment, send us an email. And we have many ways for you to stay connected. Just reach out on Instagram, Lovisa Lakshmi, Sharada Devi School. And we see each other next time. And if you like the episode and you feel it can serve anyone, please share it.
Yeah.
What did you say, Devi?
Now, if we wake up.
If we wake up, we see.
We wake up with the grace.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh.
And thank you for everyone who stayed and listened to the end of this, deep dive.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Braveheart, child of this earth, heroine and hero of your own myth. If you want to stay in the loop, join the Mother Online Village. It's a free Telegram group where I share almost daily Eros medicine potions. We're hosting mother grieving circles. And also it's a really great way to stay updated with everything that's happening in our world, in Devi School. We are now preparing for the upcoming Navaratri festival. Navaratri means 9 nights of the goddess, and for the very first time we're gonna celebrate it and honor it here in Mother Bali in person, as well as online hybrid. So also in the Mother Online Village, we'll share all the updates so that you can join the field. We have a shared vision, and the vision is to birth actual, real mother villages, beginning in Bali, hopefully in the Philippines, India, and the rest of the world. We're birthing our own Satya Yuga within this Kali Yuga, where mothers, children, women are at the center, a temple for womb healing and restoration of dignity. And if you feel connected to this vision, please join us in this movement. I also invite you deeply to join me this year for my 5-day Eros medicine journey immersion in Sweden and Portugal, where we're held again in the loving arms of Mother Nature, where we ignite the fire of transformation by being real and raw and authentic and sharing our deepest stories with each other, because that's the way how we grow and heal. And we're here to honor the womb of all wombs, the golden womb, our mother's womb, and our own womb, so that we can reclaim our sacred power. It will be an honor if you want to join me on this journey. And if you know that you have come here to lead and be a pillar and want to guide others to also breaking the spell of the internalized witch hunter and patriarchy, then join the waiting list for the Muse Golden Womb. It's my mistress, mother piece, basically. It's a 1.5-year container where you become a certified trauma-informed sacred sexuality Devi coach. Devi stands for devoted, embodied, vital, and integrated coach. It also stands for Devi, the goddess. This here is where you remember that you are a goddess, that you are one with all, and that you are the key to freedom. So we're beginning end of the year 2027, and if you feel this fire in your heart and the turn on in your yoni, then book a call with me, a connection call, and it will be my greatest joy to take you onto this journey of a lifetime. There's really nothing like that outside there that I have seen that combines Vedic wisdom, sacred sexuality, orgasmic birthing, natural fertility awareness, herbalism, family constellation, somatic experiencing, and so much more. So it is really an incredible opportunity. And if you want to hear some of the stories of the muses that have taken the journey, just reach out. They will love to talk to you. If you loved this episode, if you love the Born to Feel Free podcast and the Born to Be Free podcast, if you love it, please share it with your family and friends and comment here what has ignited in your heart. Thank you so much for being you. I love you. You're beautiful. And see you next time. Jai Ma.
From my heart to your
universe deepest gratitude for your presence. May you follow your wildest dreams, live your highest purpose, and expand into the infinite.